Hey everyone, it is November 27th, it's Sunday. I normally don't post on Sundays, however, I feel it's imperative that I do for this particular video. So I'm going to recount my story of how I received this message. I'm going to paraphrase the message as best as I can and just kind of see where everything leads me because I'm not totally sure. So a few days ago, it was at least 3 days ago, I started feeling an energy around me and I couldn't discern what this was. I knew it was a spirit. It was either someone who had crossed over, or I guess I wouldn't say rarely, but I don't often, compared to like how many readings I've done or whatever kind of things I do, get energies of people who have passed away that are having a difficult time transitioning. That process is normal. Like the transition process is normal, and sometimes processing their death can be a longer process, quotations, because it doesn't quite feel that way on the other side. It's a lot more slowed down in the way that we perceive things. So I usually just leave it alone, or if I am doing like a criminal reading, then, you know, I will sometimes, like kind of explain it to them, but once they see me, and by seeing me, it's like, it's not me, like it's not like I'm just this like special person or something, but I think it's like that energy, it's like this awareness that they have that kind of breaks them out of whatever kind of cycle that they're going through, where they can feel an energy from here like reaching to communicate with them. And so it kind of brings them, I guess it's peace, it's more peace, or more like personal authority to listen to the energies around them and like cross over a little bit better, I guess. So I wasn't really sure what this energy was, and I knew it wasn't bad energy, like it wasn't evil or anything, but I couldn't place it. And so as the days passed, I started seeing in the corner of my eye, and this is throughout the day, it was this like reddish orange beam, and it was quick. It would just come and then go. And I don't know, I was kind of like, am I just imagining it? But it felt like that was like my rational mind, but what it felt like was a real energy like showing itself. And then the other night, after I posted those 2 videos, I didn't sleep that night. I was up from like 1 o'clock until 5, and I had just gone to bed probably like 11 or 12, so kind of late for me. And so I kept seeing it appearing in my room, and normally what happens when energies of people, really strong energies, I'll just say it like that, like when really strong energies come through, I can't sleep, I won't sleep. I don't know if it's like a self-protection thing for me, where, you know, it's not easier to access me when I'm asleep, you know, in like a more receptive state. I'm not sure what it is, or like when people, I don't know, I'm not gonna really get too much into it, but just to explain, I was awake and I kept seeing this red entity, and reddish orange. And so I was like, I don't know what this is, but again, it didn't feel dark. And so I looked up to see, and it feels now too. It's like I was like looking up what it could be, but then I had this urge inside of me, and I could feel it now too, that was like pulling me away. So I didn't even look. I like glanced at like the search bar, you know, and it says like the answers of like whatever kind of thing pulls up, and I X'd out of it because, and even now it's like so intense where it's like, it's not that, it's not like you're going in the wrong direction. No. And so I ignored it again. And then yesterday, so Saturday, yesterday night, so I think I posted, did I post those? No, I think I posted on Friday. So Saturday night, I was sitting here actually, and my cat and one of my dogs was in here with me, and I was just meditating. I was just sitting here thinking, and then I could feel this energy again. And it happened over here, so like off camera, it was over there. There was a beam, again, a reddish orange beam, and I looked over because it took me by surprise. It was dark outside. It was already nighttime, and both my cat, so they're sitting across from each other, both my cat and my dog were looking up, so they're looking towards the same direction, towards each other, and then up, exactly where I swear I saw this entity. And I have never had that experience happen for me before. You know, it's like if I'm with other people and we see things, it's like one thing, or if I'm by myself, whatever. But I've never actually had my animals confirm that. And I literally still thought I was tripping. I was like, that's a weird coincidence. I feel like it's something, but that's just kind of weird. And then I told my friend about it. I was like, what do you think? Because my friend's really intuitive, and I trust his judgment with a lot of things, especially like to tell me if I'm being crazy or not. And he said that he thought that it was maybe something, and I don't know. So anyway, so the thought occurred to me this morning. Oh, okay, so that happened, right? And then I couldn't sleep again last night. I slept like a good chunk, a good block. And then I woke up and I was wide awake and I could feel presence. And then I fell back asleep and I had a nightmare. And as I woke from the nightmare, I was aware that I was still dreaming, so I pulled myself out of it, but I was still processing what happened. And so I was in another part of my house. I was on a different couch. So I was sitting on the couch and I was thinking, like, if this is really an energy, what do you have to say? What's the message? Why do you keep coming to me? And they brought me back to the reading that I had posted the other day, and they were bringing me back to how when I was talking about passion, I could feel them connecting. Like, I felt their energy then too. And so they were confirming that they were there during that time. And then they were saying, like, a continuation of what I had said about passion and the pursuit of passion, in the sense of desperation, and how there's oftentimes like a lack mindset, like a lack of something, and that's what drives the passion, right? It's like wanting something because you don't have something or whatever, right? And so then they were saying, and I'm gonna paraphrase the best that I can. I'll just well, first they're saying right now, so this is not a paraphrase, this is what I'm picking up now, is I never imagined that this would happen to me, because I didn't expect this to happen. It's like I didn't expect this situation to happen, therefore I didn't expect something like this to happen to me. It was completely unexpected for me. And as I've crossed, I come to this understanding, and they're bringing me to other people around them who are in similar situation. I'm going to explain who this person I believe is, this energy. But they're pulling me to other people, and they're saying something that we collect, like it's about the world. It's like the way the world is, and like how I mentioned, they're pointing me to the other reading I did that day, and how they're showing me like leaning back and talking about the upside down world and like what that really means, where like in order, like it's like, what is love to you? That's what they're saying. It's like, what's love to you? And I'm saying, well, love, you know, it is God. Like God is love, and to love in its truest form is to be of God, and it's equilibrium, right? It's peace. It's ultimate peace. And it's the balancing of everything. It's transcending the fluctuations that exist in our human experience, right? So it's like when things are out of balance, then we're always looking to compensate for it in another way. And that's kind of another way of even perceiving passion, is trying to create some sort of inner balance, right? And so they're saying, like to kind of break down the stories of the souls and reincarnation. Like, yes, there are different details or different reasons for why we're here, and you know, the purposes of like earth angels and light workers and all of this, like life lessons, but at the depth of it and the core of everything is you know, our journey and our lessons is seeking equilibrium. It's getting closer to equilibrium. And so to kind of break it down onto like a human level, those in positions of power who are aware of this kind of soul path or soul truth looks to create a disruptive society. They look to create an imbalance, and so there's the pursuit of something, whether it's like, even if it's an honorable pursuit, or the pursuit of more money or whatever, it draws you back down into the details of things. It keeps you bound to worldly pursuits or worldly even feelings, right? Because even the way that we feel, the fluctuations of our perception and feelings and everything, is just an expression, a limited expression, right? Because our inner truth and like being centered means we don't lack anything, and there are no imbalances. And so when you're centered, then you can drive your passion or your pursuits, and you can kind of like become a master of your action, right? Because the goal would be what our soul's goal is, which is to create harmony, to create that balance. And then they're pointing out how when there is balance in a society, but there's no acknowledgement of spirit, of like the transcendence, and you're just kind of like you have all of the things that you desire or need or whatever to sustain you or whatever, all that kind of stuff, then you're still searching for more because you're not tapped into your core. You're not tapped into your truth. You're still focused on worldly pursuits. So it's kind of like running in this empty, like it's empty, right? And so these entities, or like these people, I guess we'll say, but they're driven by evil entities. They're aware of this, and so they use that to their advantage of how can we manipulate the imbalances so that people pursue things that will keep them busy and keep them occupied, to keep us in control, to keep us in power, to keep us essentially it's to create more or a continuous imbalance or emptiness or whatever, in order to keep the mind controlled to worldly pursuits, whether by necessity or by desires, empty desires, without kind of like really realizing, right? Okay, you get what I'm saying. So that's what this energy was telling me, was the message that they wanted to get across. And so I said, okay, but who are you? And I tasted, and now I just smelled it. Of fire. I could taste fire, like a bonfire. And now I could just smell it. But then the smell was surrounded by like the smell of evil. I've done a video about this before, where it's like a weird scent. I don't know. It smells something beyond some. It smells very weird, like rotten, but not even like rotten flesh. It's like like very weird. It smells like real death, like death, not of the death of the body, absence of the soul. And so later, that was earlier today, so later I went to go work out, and I had this compulsion to stop what I was doing, record. But first I felt to go online, to go look at Twitter, and I saw Wuhan trending, and that's when it clicked for me, because I got chills. I believe that the energy that I was connecting to is an energy of someone, or maybe like a collective. I don't know how like these souls would work in tandem to say this to me, of the ones who had perished in the fire. And I saw that they're protesting and breaking down barriers in those areas. And so I X'd out of it, and then I just started like getting ready to record, and I looked again and I saw that they are going to protest to take down the current person, leader. And what I see is death. I see, I don't know if this has been released yet because I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anyone being injured. I saw arrests being made. And I'm seeing people dying. And I'm seeing when these people die, it's creating an energy vortex. I could relate this to like very powerful, moving events like Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, I Have a Dream speech, in March. I can equate this to even Jesus and the subsequent hanging of Jesus. It's like really powerful, energetic responses and vortexes that are created because of the heightened energy that people are projecting from these events. I think this is going to be a very hugely impactful event on an energetic scale, a historical scale, because what I'm seeing is that the police who are responsible for arresting these people, these protesters, there's going to be a good section of them who are going to revolt against their own people. So it's the police against the police, and they're actually going to be helping because they start realizing the reason why they start realizing. Some people are just genuinely, they agree with the cause, they believe in the cause. However, there are going to be deaths that occur, and as these deaths occur, the energy lingers, the energy stays. It's like they continue the fight. As they cross over, they are still present. They don't leave because they're not done. And these energies, it's almost as if you, I say you, like those who are responsible for killing these people, eliminating these people, are freeing them of their body limitations. They're liberating them from their body's limitations to where their energy can soar. Their energy is so much more powerful because it's I don't know the word, but it can be more impactful and touch more people. And so these, it's a I don't like the word possession because it doesn't quite, like, possession has a negative connotation. It's like being swept up by the energies of positivity. It's like, maybe not channeling, it's like feeling their spirits. It's like being overcome with light spirits. And it's like attaching, like their purpose and their energy, they're purposely attaching to re-strengthen, re-energize these protesters and entering the minds to it's like the police will reframe their mind, restructure their thinking. It's like the information that I told you earlier that they told me is like it kind of just enters their soul. And from there, they have that moment where they're like, you know, they come to realize that what they're doing, they don't believe in, they don't agree with, and they turn against the government as well. And I see this happening very quickly, like 35 days possibly, or 8 days or something, like very, very, very rapid movement here. And I see they have a real potential of overthrowing their leader. They have a real potential of doing so. Because it's driven by light. And this energy, this entity is pointing out how when leaders are driven by physical force, when they're used to using physical force, then their strategic way of manipulating people or controlling people, it's like their mental manipulation, lacks, because they can always rely on physical force. And so it feels like these people in leadership positions don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it, because the way that they've always handled it is not going to work anymore. It's not going to work in this scenario. They're outnumbered, or they're overpowered, or they're just caught off guard. It's like, it's not or, it's like all of that combined, and them not having the intellectual processes to figure out a better way to strategize in this situation. And they have placed, it feels like they displaced their power too much. It feels like it's in other areas outside of China, but nearby. And so it feels like as they have to restructure their focus onto this situation, it weakens the ability to interrogate or it's like antagonize these other areas, or whatever they're doing behind the scenes or in front of the scenes. Like there's places that they're antagonizing situations or terrorizing places, and that's going to weaken because they have to focus on their own people, and they can't handle that either. So it feels like a genuine restructuring, a genuine downfall, a genuine overthrow or overtake. I heard the word peaceful acquisition. I heard the word peaceful acquisition. 𝐷153 is the number that I'm seeing. 𝐷153. Maybe look that up for like an angel number. 𝐷153. So that's what I'm picking up today, and I feel I should share with you. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.